Hello everybody, John12 back again with another video, and today, this week, we have a new Dragon Ball Super episode. Yes, the last week we did not get anything from Dragon Ball Super, but now we finally have a new episode to talk about, and also a new manga chapter, which I'll probably not make a video on. But anyways, we got a new episode, let's get into it. Today, we have Dragon Ball Super episode 82 titled Never Forgive Son Goku, Toppo, the Warrior of Justice, Intrudes. Of course, if you've not seen the latest episode of Dragon Ball Super, please do so because this review may contain spoilers. Also, as a quick side note before I continue with this review, if you hear any background noise in this course of this review, that is music. It's not coming from me. Basically, it's the weekend. So you know what that means. There's a lot of parties, and I'm here talking about Dragon Ball Super, so keep that in mind. With that being said, let's get into the latest episode of Dragon Ball Super. Now, this newest episode of Dragon Ball Super is pretty much straightforward and to the point. It overall starts off with the Kais and God of Destructions of Universe 11 trying to get the blessings of the Xenosamas to allow Goku and Toppo to fight, and eventually the Xenosamas do give Goku and Toppo the approval to fight, and after some dialogue here and there, it's pretty much a shot-for-shot fight of an episode, which I completely enjoyed. It's something that this series desperately needs more of, and this tournament, like I said with my previous reviews, continues to deliver on the action aspects of the Dragon Ball franchise, and it's pretty much a pretty consistent and badass fight. Goku, I feel like the dialogue that's thrown towards Goku's way and Goku delivering as well before the fight starts with Toppo is incredibly just ignorant writing and just horseshit in my opinion. I did not really like the dialogue that Toppo and Goku were giving each other, because when you think about it realistically, the last couple episodes we've gotten, it's been pretty much Toppo trying to get a range on what Goku is, and Goku just being ignorant towards the kind of things people are saying about him. But in this episode, it's pretty much Toppo accepting the fact that Goku is the villain, and he's a piece of shit. And Goku, in some weird way or fashion, I don't know who's been smoking the meth in Japan, but apparently Goku's completely accepted the fact that I'm evil, I'm gonna be the bad guy, let's fucking fight. And that's kind of like what the episode is in a nutshell in this episode 82. We get Toppo and Goku fighting. Goku starts off as Super Saiyan taking on Toppo. Toppo, strangely enough, I can't really say he has amazing abilities, but he's definitely extremely powerful and knows how to hold his own against other more skillful warriors like a Goku, which is impressive, which just mostly just points out the fact that Universe 11, which is not really that big of a shock considering, you know, the intro of the saga itself, is going to have probably the best fighters and strongest warriors that Goku and the rest of the gang will be fighting in this saga. Goku and Toppo's fight is pretty badass. I really enjoy Toppo's dialogue during the fight, I should say, versus his dialogue sharing with Goku himself. Toppo is hilarious. I did not expect to like Toppo, but after this episode, he's pretty fucking funny. He's really strong, and he knows how to fucking kick some ass. The overall aspect of Toppo's fighting abilities is the fact that he attacks a warrior's joints, and then he's really big on breaking the bones of his enemies and stuff with his Justice hugs. Everything's named Justice because he's a part of this Pride Troopers gang in the Universe 11. But overall, the fight is pretty badass. Goku's pretty much putting in his best stops. We start off with Super Saiyan. That doesn't seem to be working. Then he switches over to Super Saiyan Blue, and we got to see something that we don't normally see, which is a point-blank range Kamehameha wave, which was really fucking awesome. I have to say, out of the fight, Toppo's references to his own attacks, plus with Goku's Kamehameha wave, has to be the best portions of the fight for me out of this episode, because it's very rare. If you've been watching the series up to this point, it's very rare that Goku puts in an extremely powerful Kamehameha wave right to the face of his enemy. We've only seen that a couple of times, like with characters like Broly or Perfect Cell, but he did it for Toppo, and it's almost kind of like referenced through Beerus that almost like it could have killed the guy. But then again, like in true Dragon Ball fashion, we realize Toppo isn't really completely decimated in the process of this match, and Toppo and is powering up and Goku starts to power up via Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken to reach past their limits and go all out in this little match. But of course that ends up changing because the Grand Priest comes in and says that's pretty much the end and we should separate our ways so we can get prepared for the universe, the Tournament of Power, I should say, which will be taking place, according to the Grand Priest, in about 40 fucking hours. Which is kind of crazy, considering we just had this really weird exhibition match, and then just right after that, 40 hours later, I mean, like, if we were anticipating some training montage episodes in this saga, I don't think we're going to fucking get that. The next couple episodes of this saga is pretty much just going to be Goku, Gohan, and Beerus collecting warriors for the tournament, and a lot of Vegeta fan service, because you know what's happening. But we'll get to that in a second. But that pretty much ends it. We have Toppo and Goku pretty much ending square nowhere, and Toppo leaves Goku with references to possibly the strongest opponent Goku could end up facing in this tournament, which is Universe 11's warrior Jiren, I think is how you, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Jiren the Grey. Jiren the Grey is the strongest, apparently the big old yoked, the super yoked South Park Grey Alien character is apparently the strongest warrior of Universe 11, which I guess makes sense. That's not really a big surprise for anybody or spoiler, considering that he does fight Goku at like Super Saiyan Blue and whatever the fuck that, you know, wink wink, nudge nudge. What is that? Kaioken, or is a new transformation like of Goku in the intro of this saga? So it's not a big surprise that Jiren would end up being the strongest character of that universe, and Beerus is almost like the last several episodes, the characters surrounding Goku seem to be reflecting what the fandom thinks of Goku, and Beerus does that again in this episode. Beerus is pretty much freaked out, and I loved it. Beerus is one of my favorite characters of this series, of the new characters. And I love his dialogue. Everything he says is just hilarious. He's so pissed off, and then he gets so happy, and then there's a moment where once the match is done and they return back to the universe and they're okay and they're getting ready to set up the match, Beerus just gives Whis shit, which is hilarious. And it does, like, really, it opens up good dialogue, because when you think about it, the Grand Priest is a schemer. He's a little weasel. I'm just saying. I feel like, because there's a point in this episode, spoilers, there's a point in this episode where Grand Priest, when he ends the match between Toppo and Goku, he does it before getting consent from the Xenosamas. So I'm getting the feeling that the Grand Priest has a lot more power over everything than we realize, and it really makes you think, who's really in charge? Is the Omni Kings really the Omni Kings, or the Grand Priest is really just his servant boy or whatever? I mean, like, how powerful is the Grand Priest, and what exactly are the purpose of the angels? Because we continue to get left in the dark when it comes to the purpose and substance of these angels in comparison to regular gods and Kais and other kind of Samas and stuff. And it's just really weird. I don't really understand it, and it's very ominous. I feel like Grand Priest at this point is very much like, he's like Littlefinger of Game of Thrones. He's a little weasel. He's a schemer. He's a schemer. And Whis and Beerus kind of touch upon that, and Beerus has some really nice dialogue. That's really all I can say on that front. There's a lot of real time crunching that needs to get done, and now we got Capsule Corporation. Vegeta has his kid next episode. Yay! A lot of crazy shit. Overall, I liked this episode. I really enjoyed it. I feel like the only aspects out of the episode I didn't like was the dialogue and conversation that was going on between Toppo and Goku at the beginning of the match, and several instances during their fight when Goku turns Super Saiyan and when he's a Super Saiyan Blue, when they start to go all out against each other. Those were the only parts I didn't like about the episode. Everything else I liked. The animation, artwork was pretty consistent, awesome. The music choices were really nice. I enjoyed them anyways. And overall, the characters that really left an impression on me. Toppo, as a fighter, was really fun. Beerus was hilarious. I think Whis and Beerus are just perfect dynamics for each other, and they're awesome for this series. At least for me, in comparison to all the fucking red carpet of fucking new characters that Toriyama creates. And the Grand Priest was a big question mark. I feel like there's a lot to be There's a lot more than meets the eye, so to speak. And sorry for the pun, for Transformers puns, but fuck, there's just more to that guy, and I want to know what it is. I mean, like, if he has the Xenosamas under his thumb like that, what else can Grand Priest do? What else can he do? I mean, like, that's the question we need. What are the purpose of these fucking angels? Are they angels? Are they guides? Are they power? What the fuck? I don't know. But the clown God of Destruction talked. That was nice. Nah, whatever. That's pretty much it. My final verdict for this episode is a solid 9 out of 10. I enjoyed the hell out of this episode. Moving off of that, next episode, we have Vegeta. Finally, Vegeta fans uproar. We got Vegeta returning with Bra. Bra's being born. And apparently it's a big debacle because Vegeta doesn't want to leave Bulma. But we got a tournament that depends on the survival of the universe. But we gotta wait for this damn kid to fucking be born. So next episode's gonna be like a real pain in the ass, I think. Except for the whole, like, yay, we got to see a kid be born, yay. It's probably gonna die anyways, because the universe is, whatever. Whatever. We know the future. Stop pretending, people. Stop pretending. Enough of you and your stupid rants. Who fucking cares? And also, another real big thing out of this episode that I forgot to mention has to be Gohan. Gohan's getting a lot of hype in this saga, and I want to know if it's really appropriate or if it's just false hope that the writers are giving us. Because throughout the episode, Goku continues to respond with Beerus and Mr. Saiyan or Hercule rather, is that, hey, we got Gohan. Everything's gonna be good. Goku has faith in Gohan. Does that mean something? Is this saga gonna be like how Gohan got his groove back? Like, is this Gohan? This is like Gohan's Theon Greyjoy. This is his moment to get his balls back. And is it true? That's another big question. Grand Priest, what the fuck's with him? And Gohan, is he getting a comeback? Those are the big questions of this saga that I have. Let's see if they get answered. But with that being said, that's the end. That's all I have to say about this episode. Really enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. I'd really appreciate that. And of course, this has been Josh12, and I hope you enjoyed.